In a galaxy 4.62 billion light-years from the Milky Way, a spiral called Zendrel holds a star called Drenak, around which orbit 8 iron-hearted worlds in a single resonance chain. On the 8th of them, a Kardashev 1.98 civilization has just run out of metal. They call themselves the Vantir. Their bodies are engineered, segmented alloy plate over a crystalline frame, a fixed matte faceplate with 3 narrow eye slits, one above the other. No breath, no blood. They do not eat, and they do not age. What ages is the body. When a body finally fails, the person inside it is moved. The mechanism is not magic. Each Vantir carries a compressed pattern of information, a self-observing wave held in a small array of crystals inside the chest. The pattern is the person. The body is only the container. When a body is about to fail, the pattern is transferred in about 40 seconds into a fresh body, waiting on a cradle. Their word for the pattern is kez-vrun. Their oldest continuous individual has been transferring for 5,148 of their years. He is on his 43rd body. He was the first person the procedure was ever performed on. His name is Torvash. There is one thing the Vantir will not do. They will not copy a pattern. 2 people with equal claim to the same past is treated in their law as the deepest violation possible. The punishment is the erasure of both. In 4,000 years publicly, no one has ever done it. The cost of the arrangement is simple. Every new body needs about 380 kilograms of a very specific refined metal. Their homeworld, the outermost of the 8 iron worlds, is called Vornak. Vornak was rich in that metal. Was. After 4,000 of their years, Vornak's crust has been dug hollow. The deepest of their mines passed its last productive depth about 12 years ago. All mining now is picking through old tailings. Energy they have in abundance. Orbital collectors gather about 1/3 of their star's output. But the problem was never energy. The problem was always the metal. And they are out of it. Before all of this, the Vantir were biological, bipedal, wet, mortal. In the ordinary way, they lived on a metal-rich, water-poor world whose star's habitable window they knew was closing. Over about 6 centuries of research, their late-era programs worked out how to move a person's pattern between substrates. The first successful transfer moved a philosopher into the first engineered body. That transfer is year 0 on the calendar every Vantir still uses. The philosopher is Torvash. He is still alive. Once a year, he reads aloud from the writings of the biological ancestors, in a ceremony most of the population still tunes into. Over the next 2 centuries, the whole population made the transition. Population climbed from a few thousand to about 340 million. They captured their planet's full energy budget, then began to ring their star. And in year 2900, with the crust already visibly thinning, a small order of technical assessors published the first honest forecast of how much metal was left. At the current casting rate, the number said, the metal ran out around year 4050. The response required a decision. That decision fell to the Planetary Council. 21 seats rotating from the senior guilds, a body called the Vantir Assembly. The assembly imposed a freeze. New bodies could only be built for people whose current body was actively failing. Individuals could stay alive. New individuals became rare. The population settled back down to about 118 million, and has held there for almost 1,100 years. The energy climb stalled at Kardashevcivilization. They could not build higher. They had run out of the stuff to build with. So the assembly, which had run out of metal to grow with, began looking outward. There are 7 other rocky worlds in Vornak's orbital chain, all rocky, all metal cored, locked in a resonance so precise their orbits are exact ratios of one another. Working inward from Vornak, one sibling every couple of centuries, the Vantir had already surveyed most of the outer siblings. Most had come up thin, a bad throw of the original chemistry. The survey kept moving inward. The nearest inner sibling, the 7th from the star, the one closest to Vornak, was the last untouched world in the chain. Its name is Vodrek. The Vodrek expedition launched 3 years ago and made orbit 2 years back. Its mandate was flat. Measure the metal in Vodrek's crust. Model a strip mining program. Report. Everyone understood what the report was going to say. The current estimate is that Vornak's remaining metal maintains existing bodies for another 43 years. After that, bodies begin to fail without new bodies ready, and the people inside them stop being able to transfer. Their pattern at the moment of body failure is simply lost. The Vantir have a word for this. The uncast. No one has been uncast in 4,000 years. Vodrek was the answer to that timeline. The survey was supposed to be routine. 4 months into orbit, the deep radar picked up an anomaly. A lattice about 180 meters below the northern desert, roughly 1.2 kilometers on its long axis, geometrically too regular to be geological, thermally cold, older than every layer of soil above it. It was not a mineral deposit. It was a structure. They dug down. They exposed part of its upper surface. It was a machine. The surface was inscribed with what looked like operating notation. The linguists began the decoding work. It took 11 weeks to establish that the notation was self-consistent. It took another 6 to establish, tentatively, what the machine did. The tentative answer, the one everyone on the ship wanted to believe, was that the machine was a molecular assembler. Feed refined metal in at one end. Biological tissue came out the other. The energy cost per conversion was near 1,000th of the star's total output. But the machine appeared to carry its own stored reserve, steadily shrinking, of unknown origin. They gave the machine a name. Zovex. Attached to the survey, at a rank far below the technical team, was a mid-career officer named Dovrik. She was 14 years old, middle-aged by Vantir reckoning. Her job was the boring back end of decoding, reading the inscription again as more of it was exposed, cataloging symbols, filing reports no one read. She had read the inscription 43 times. On the 44th reading, a Wednesday, in her own quarters, off shift, she noticed something the technical team had not thought to look for. The verbs were wrong for a manual. Every technical document she had ever read used the language of instructions. Do this. If this, then that. The Zovek's inscription did not. Its verbs marked events as things that had happened, or were happening, or were remembered. Its sentences were narrative, framed, dated. It was the grammar of a historical account. She read it a 45th time with that framing, and it opened up like a hinge. The record embedded technical detail, material recipes, calibration templates, conversion sequences. But it presented all of it as case notes on a completed program. Not run the assembler with these inputs. Instead, the program was run with these inputs over this many generations, and these were the founding templates. One of those templates included a specific pigmentation isomer, a shade of color with a very specific molecular fingerprint. Dovrik pulled the ship's spectroscopic sweep of Vodrek's surface. The team knew Vodrek carried a biosphere, temperate, wet, with rooted plants and small animals along its coasts. No one had cross-referenced the biology against the artifact. The artifact was, in their reading, a manual. Dovrik ran the cross-check. The pigmentation from the record was present in Vodrek's living biosphere. The match was inside statistical noise on the first pass, outside it on the second. She read the inscription a 46th time, with the new framing fully applied. Zovek's was not a manual. It was a memorial, and the living things on Vodrek's surface were not indigenous. The record's account, as Dovrik's summary later set it out, was this. Some very long time ago, a mechanical civilization occupied the Drenak system. They were made of metal. They ran out of it. They faced the arithmetic the Vantir now face. They built Zovek's. Zovek's converted a mechanical body, one at a time, into a biological one. The conversion was one way. Once done, there was no going back. It ended pattern transfer as a possibility. It gave the converted person a life of about 85 years. It restored ordinary mortality. And it was expensive. Every conversion drew from the machine's stored reserve. That reserve was laid down when the machine was built, non-renewable, and finite. At original efficiency, about 11,000 conversions. Total. They used it, not all at once. Their population was larger than 11,000, and the conversion needed a queue, a program, generations of transition. Over about 4,000 of their years, generation by generation, they moved their people through Zovek's. Their institutions dissolved. Their bodies became biological. They had children, real generational children, for the first time in the civilization's history. When the last mechanical member completed conversion, the program closed. The Vantir archive gives those precursors a name. The Zovek's kin, the ones who left the pattern. Their descendants live on Vodrek. Today, the descendants have oral traditions running back roughly 4,200 of their own generations, about 105,000 Vornak years. In none of them is there any mention of what their ancestors used to be. Their creation stories describe being shaped from Vodrek's warm mud by a hand that has since departed. Whether they chose to forget or simply forgot is a question the record does not settle. The Vantir have no way of asking. The precursors' late-era leaders seem to have expected this outcome. They encoded the record against it and let it happen anyway. The archive calls the descendants the Vodrek kin. The Vantir Assembly received a sealed technical report on all of this about 4 Vornak months before Dovrik's 44th reading. The report was received by the chair of the Assembly, a figure who has held the chair through 3 continuous terms on her 19th body. Her name is Praxel. Praxel read it. The Assembly discussed it in closed session. The Assembly decided not to publish it. Since that decision, 4 Assembly members, Praxel first, then 3 others, at intervals of about a Vornak month, have quietly disappeared from active political life. Their names appear on standard retirement rolls. Their patterns do not appear in the archive vaults, where all retired patterns are held. They are, in fact, alive. They are living in biological bodies, in a small, unmarked installation on Vodrek's northern continent, in a stretch of coast the descendants have not settled. The 4 of them are, so far, the only conversions the Vantir have ever performed. The Praxel who chairs assembly sessions on Vornak is not Praxel. It is a copy of her pattern, running on a maintained mechanical body, a violation of the Vantir's oldest civic law. The copy is unaware of what it is. Publicly, the Assembly's position is that Zovex represents a transition program that will scale to the general population once the mechanism is fully understood. There is no engineering path to scaling. Zovex's reserve is finite. The Assembly has been drawing from it. The Assembly is not preparing a transition. The Assembly is depleting a lifeboat. Dovrik's evidence is limited. She has the linguistic reading, airtight, but arguable by anyone motivated to argue with it. She has the biological cross-match, statistically strong, but dependent on the ship's spectroscopy. She does not yet have proof of the internal conversions. That trail lives in retirement paperwork and pattern archive absences. It can be assembled, but she is a junior officer, and building the case requires cooperation from people she has not asked. What she has cleanly is the reveal itself. The artifact is a memorial. The Vodrek kin are the descendants. The transition program has no engineering basis. She understands what publishing that would do. Publishing does not by itself expose the 4 internal conversions, but it forces the question. Once the public knows Zovex is a memorial and the transition program is not scalable, people begin asking whom the Assembly was preparing to convert first. The archive absences become findable by anyone with time. Publishing collapses the private program within weeks. It also forces a decision the Vantir have not been asked to make in 4,000 years. What do 118 million people do when the artifact that could preserve some of them can only preserve about 11,000? And when the sibling world they were about to strip turns out to already be inhabited by the people the artifact was built for? Dovrik has been an officer for 740 years. She has watched the Assembly make choices under stress that any reasonable body would make. She does not believe Praxil is a monster. She does not believe the other three are either. She believes they made a specific decision at a specific closed session. When a specific option, private continuity for the governing body, public reassurance for everyone else, seemed less bad than the alternative of publishing the report and watching the political order come apart in real time. Every subsequent decision followed from that first one. The horror of the concealment is not that it is villainous, it is that it is comprehensible. Not publishing means the private program continues. The metal budget still fails in 43 years. Everyone else eventually becomes the uncast, after being told for years that a solution was coming. There are 2 rooms. The first is a small survey office on the core ship in Vodrek orbit. Dovrik is at a terminal. A draft memorandum, cleanly written, technically airtight, addressed to the civilian record, is queued. Sending it makes it discoverable within a day. Not sending it means considering not sending it every day for the rest of her career, however long her career runs. The send command is highlighted. She has not committed it. She has been sitting there for a little over 2 hours. The second room is on Vornak, at the base of the Great Deep Mine, in a chamber that has not been meaningfully altered in 5,000 years. Torvash, the founding continuous individual, 5,148 years into it, on his 43rd body, is walking past the wall of names toward the podium. Somewhere in the wall are the 4 assembly members whose patterns do not appear in the archive vaults, but whose names have not been ceremonially struck, because striking them would raise a question no one on the assembly wants raised. Torvash has read from this podium 4,001 times. He does not know what the sealed report contains. He has, however, been handed a note by a junior archivist, someone who works closely with 2 of the officers Dovrik has been talking to for the past 90 hours. He is holding the note. He has not opened it. We leave both rooms. Neither decision is made. The metal budget still fails in 43 years. Zovex still holds a finite charge. The Vodrek kin still do not know they are the descendants of a people who once looked like the beings currently in orbit above their world, with mining plans. And somewhere on Vodrek's coast, on a low grey morning, a shallow earthen mound is being dug for someone's grandmother.